Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. Today I want to talk about Indian small caps and the small cap rally which you've been seeing. And if you remember, me and Shashwat did a video way back in October, November about the evaluations in Indian small cap and how there might be a lot of froth in it, and you should be careful while trading through this. And there could be a lot of over evaluations and lots of sharks in the water, and to be careful of what you do and where you put your money. So that's been like a good 4 or 5 months back. Now, February 2024, Mint came out with an interesting article calling Indian small cap rally the Boost Emerging Market Index. There's something known as the Emerging Market Index, MSCI, Emerging Market, which is all the small, I mean the emerging markets from all around the world. India is part of that index, and so is Korea, Taiwan, Thailand. All these guys are part of this index, and the Indian companies have been having a weightage of 27.82% in this, while Taiwanese companies are 22 and South Korean firms are 12. So that's how much weightage the Indian small caps have been having out of the 24 emerging markets which are there. And if you see the charts compared to emerging markets, large cap compared to small caps, it's been always the small cap trails. They trail together. Small caps always a little higher because of the returns. But if you see over the period of time, there's a huge divergence which has been happening since the March of 2023. And this is what the froth in the Financial Times was talking about. Now, it's true. There is a lot of froth because what happens is when the tide comes in, it lifts up not only good things, it also lifts up bad things, which is normal. When water comes, when it floods, all things float. I mean, all things which can float tend to float. So even junk tends to float up and its valuations goes up. But that being said, there is also some value in the small cap sector. And if you can look at specific stocks and specific companies in India which have been doing very well, and what has been driving this. For example, if you look at, there's an Indian IT company called Coforge, which is doing rather well. Their numbers and their stock prices and evaluations have gone through the roof. That used to be part of the NIIT Technologies, which was bought over and it's been rebranded as Coforge. And then you have Federal Bank, which is also one of the leading banks now, who's doing very well in terms of evaluation. And all of this has been pushing the Indian small cap higher and higher. So what does this lead to this? And this is not only true in India, this is also true in Korea, this is true in Taiwan, it's true in all other 34 emerging markets. And if you see them, the small caps are performing much better and offering much better rewards and returns to investors compared to the usual large caps. And most of this optimism seems to be centered around two main things. One is, of course, artificial intelligence. The other is, of course, electric vehicles. Electric vehicles and the world moving away from fossil fuels is something which is fueling this, where a lot of new companies, small cap companies, are emerging with new innovative ideas and technologies and manufacturing plants across these emerging markets, and they're creating a value for investors. And the other sector is, of course, artificial intelligence. Even Microsoft Satya Nadella was in India in a conference where he said India has an opportunity to incubate the next big artificial intelligent employment, where Indian GDP 25 to 30% can be supported by artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence allied services in India. And he hopes that Indian youth will be joining the workforce of artificial intelligent programmers and coders in the future. And Microsoft wishes to be one of the partners for this, and they wish to invest in India and help us steer our youth towards this. This is a kind of optimism which you can see in India right now, especially in the small cap sector and across emerging markets. This feeling of optimism is there. This is what's pushed Indian small cap Nifty small cap 100 index over 73%, while the Nifty 50 has only relatively modestly only gone up by 24%. That's a threefold difference between one and the other. Well, this is all good news if you look at it through that lens. There's no doubt about it. Of course, it's good news, but this is a very small window which you're looking through, and a very small shutter you're looking through. And I want you to keep it much broader and wider. Because when we are looking at investing, we tend to look at periods of 5 to 10 years. And with 5 to 10 years, we cannot play on what is favor today, tomorrow. We have to try and place our bets such that in the term of 5 to 10 years, whatever ideas we're thinking of are sustainable for that period of time. So keep this in mind when you're looking at these small cap companies. Because I'm sure a lot of you are looking at these small cap companies because a lot of you keep asking me all the time on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, what do I feel about this company? What do I feel about that company? And I do reply back saying, I'm not a SEBI registered advisor. I cannot be advising you on this, but the basic rules of investing applies. Where I spoke about Peter Lynch's equation to keep in mind when you're looking at the small cap as an investment opportunity. The same rules from that video apply over here too. So look at the PE ratios, look at the debt levels, look at the earnings, and see the history and see the owners. And is this technology, whatever the company is proposing, is it viable? Is it sustainable? Is a very critical thing to look at. Companies which cannot pivot and move tend to disappear, and this is also true in small cap companies. For example, we knew of a small time, he wasn't a limited company. He was proprietorship, partnership-based private limited company he was running, where he was supplying a certain paper-related product to the government here locally. And he has been doing that for a very long time, I think 2 or 3 generations they've been in this business. And they did not pivot and move. As the world more and more into paperless and transitioned into a paperless environment, the world moved and transitioned into a paperless environment. Even the governments, which are the slow to movers, they're also moving into a paperless environment. He did not see, though the writing was on the wall, he didn't want to read it, I guess, and he didn't move with the times. And now that company has vanished. If he had seen that the world is moving towards more paperless, and he tried to pivot and take some of his earnings and move away from it, like what happened in ITC, he might have done something innovative and moved. So what applies for ITC, what applies for BAT, applies for even small businesses, what I'm trying to say. So a small cap, yes, the idea could be innovative, but it needs not only innovation, it needs good marketing, it needs good business sense to make it into a profitable venture for an investor. You've seen this in many times in Shark Tank, and I do encourage you to watch programs like Shark Tank for the simple idea to get in mindset of an investor. How to evaluate, especially small caps, is a great program to watch, Shark Tank, because it'll give you, as an investor, how you should be really looking at businesses of small cap companies. Because it's vastly different from a large cap company, because large cap companies are established, they have a proven record, they have a moat, and they've done this for a long time, and the companies are large, and it's a different ball game altogether. While in terms of small cap, out of every one small cap that succeeds going to a large cap, at least 50 or 60 of them will disappear from the face of the earth. So keep this in mind while you're venturing into small cap, because these headlines are very promising. And yes, there is no lies in it. It is across the board in all emerging markets, you can see. So it is promising and builds confidence in us that our industries are doing well, especially the small cap. And India is trying to grow from pillar to pillar. Though whatever is happening in the world, we're still able to move forward and forge ahead. It is promising. But as investors, you should be cautious, is what I want you to do. So please keep in mind all this when you're reading these headlines about small caps, because a lot of you keep asking me, why aren't you talking about small caps? It's doing so well. It's doing so well. Yes, it is doing so well. I'm not denying it. Yes, it is things to be happy about. But as an investor, please be cautious where you put your money and place your bets on. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and we'll see you in the next one soon.
It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.